When I first started my Etsy shop, I put in hours of work every single day to build up the store, only to make 0 sales in the first 3 months. Naturally, I was frustrated and I wanted to quit, but I'd seen tons of people talking online about how much passive income they generate on Etsy selling digital products, and I needed this to work. I was so determined to supplement my full-time income because it just wasn't enough to support the lifestyle that I wanted for my family. And since I didn't have much time to spare, I was only interested in building passive income streams where I could create digital products that I only have to set up once and sell them over and over again. So before giving up, I came up with a plan. I decided to study the big successful Etsy shops out there to figure out any patterns that I was missing. I discovered that they were all using 3 of the same tools to generate multiple daily sales. So I implemented their strategies and I couldn't believe the result. 100 Etsy sales flew in just 27 days. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make Etsy sales fast, how much money you could make from that many sales, and prove to you that this can work for any digital product shop. Now, in order for you to see tangible results, you have to combine all 3 of these strategies, otherwise it will not work. So let's jump right in. Unless you started your Etsy shop over 10 years ago when there was way less competition, it's going to be really hard to make daily sales if you don't find some sort of gap in the market. I'll illustrate what I mean by showing you some of the actual research that I did. I found this shop that has made over 250,000 sales since 2020, selling digital stickers and SVG bundles, which is wild. So I wanted to do a deeper dive and understand what this shop is doing right. I hopped onto Allura, which is an Etsy research tool, and plugged in the shop's name to figure out where most of the sales were coming from. I noticed that one of their best sellers was the Mom SVG bundle, which offers cute and funny quote SVG and PNG files. To understand the demand and competition on this type of product, you can use any research tool you want. But at the time, I was using Marmalade to conduct this research as well. I typed in Mom SVG into the search bar and noticed that there was clearly a gap in the market for this product. Many shoppers are searching terms like soccer mom SVG and boy mom SVG, with not as many sellers offering high quality products to meet this demand. To give you another example, this shop has made almost 90,000 sales selling different types of printable planners, which may sound like a super competitive niche, and it is, but when I went to discover where most of their sales were coming from, some of their top selling items are wedding planner printables. I searched this product in Marmalade, and you can see here that the searches and engagement are super high with relatively low competition on Etsy for this product. Not to mention that some of the other best-selling items in this shop, like homeschool planners, self-care planners, and meal planners, are also highly profitable ideas based on the gaps that Marmalade identified. So based on this, I discovered that successful sellers are clearly using Etsy keyword research tools to figure out exactly what to sell on Etsy to guarantee sales. They're not just lucky, they clearly came in with a strategy. In my case, I finally downloaded Marmalade and Allura to not only conduct this research, but to find my own profitable products that I could create. And I landed on affirmation printable cards and wall art at the time. So these were the products that I decided to focus on. Now, you don't need multiple research tools. Try testing out a few to see which ones you prefer. If you want to try Marmalade or Allura like I'm showing here, I will leave free trials and coupon codes down below for you. Once you find a gap in the market, focus your attention and energy on creating these products only. So I was creating printable affirmation card bundles, affirmation wall art, and then some generic motivational quote wall art printables. The next strategy I implemented was one that was so obvious to me amongst all the bigger sellers. I paid attention to my Etsy shop stats. Before I show you what I mean, look at this shop here that only sells resume templates. They have made over 90,000 sales and they only have 64 active listings, which is not much at all. You can use Allura to see their top selling templates, or if you don't want to invest in this particular research tool, simply scroll down the page to their reviews and filter for most recent. This will tell you the listings that shoppers are currently actively purchasing and reviewing, and you'll notice very specific styles are performing the best for this seller. Since more of of the minimal resume templates and the ones with the contact information on the left side are doing very well, it looks like they created more of them because they listened to their audience by noticing a pattern in what they like. So this seller not only found a gap in the market, as you can see from this Marmalade screenshot, that resume templates are super profitable, but they doubled down on styles that are performing the best in their shop. So in my case, my affirmation cards were starting to get sales and were generating much more traffic to my shop than any of my other listings. My first sale came within 2 days of publishing a printable affirmation card bundle. So I created 4 more bundles with different colors. This resulted in 10 sales within 1 week. So I was finally onto something. Once your shop has been active for at least 30 days, you should be reviewing your stats on a regular basis to see what's working and what isn't working and adjust accordingly. You can do this by going into your shop manager, clicking on stats, and filtering for the last 30 days to see which listings are generating the most traffic and sales in your shop. Like I mentioned, I was working full time and didn't have that much time to spare, so I was able to make all my affirmation cards pretty quickly by downloading graphic bundles from Creative Fabrica. If you've never used Creative Fabrica before, I highly recommend it, especially when you don't have time to design all the graphics and fonts yourself. They offer so many beautiful packages with a commercial license. I simply searched botanical leaves for my printables and downloaded a few of the bundles to work with. Here are just a few examples of ones that I really liked, along with a few fonts that I really liked and used. And if you haven't used my link before, you can actually get your first 10 downloads absolutely for free and cancel at any time. Just use the link below to sign up. I'm currently on their annual plan, which is the most affordable all-access plan I've come across that includes commercial use. So you can check that out as well. So what else did all of these successful digital product Etsy shops have in common that I was not doing during my first few months on Etsy? When I started, I thought that once I post a few items on Etsy, it would only be a matter of days before someone just happens to stumble upon one of my listings and make a purchase. I realized after a few weeks of seeing 0 results that I couldn't just rely on Etsy's organic traffic, especially as a new small seller with no sales or reviews, competing with the big established shops out there. I wanted to know exactly how other sellers were generating their own traffic on top of Etsy's organic search traffic. So I started looking into their announcement sections, about sections, and even paid attention to their banners trying to find a pattern. Some shops were using Instagram to promote their products, others were using their blog or their own website, and many of them had an email list that shoppers can subscribe to so that they can get notified when there's promotions or new products launching. But most, if not all, the shops I researched had this in common. They were using Pinterest to drive traffic to their Etsy products. There's a few ways to find out where your competitors are promoting their products. The first is to scroll all the way down to their About section where they've linked their social media handles. They might have linked their Pinterest account there. Another way is to simply go on Pinterest and type in their Etsy shop name to find their corresponding Pinterest profile. Each one of them are actively posting on Pinterest on a regular basis to generate their own sales. You can see this by clicking on one of their product pins and see where it links to, which will ultimately direct you back to their Etsy shop. I wasn't using Pinterest when I first started, so I began to create multiple unique pins for each Etsy product that I had in my shop and posted every single day. Here's an example of an Etsy product I sell and a few corresponding Pinterest pins I created in Canva. If you're not using Pinterest yet for your Etsy shop, you can download the free trial of Canva Pro down below and watch this video next that will show you exactly how to drive traffic from Pinterest to your shop. After combining all 3 of these tools, I made my first 100 sales in just 27 days. My total revenue that first profitable month was $1,264 because the prices of my printables at the time ranged from around $6 to $18. My shop has gone on to make much more ever since I got better using these tools and adding more listings in a more strategic way. Of course, you can generate way more revenue depending on your niche and the types of digital products you're selling. For example, this shop sells Good Notes planners and is generating over $33,000 per month because this was a major gap in the market. They've only been selling on Etsy since 2019. They've made over 100,000 sales already, and they only have 12 active listings. It's absolutely incredible. Of course, the earning potential will depend on your niche, but you can see from just the few examples we went over in this video that this works for any type of digital product shop, as long as you are using all 3 of these strategies correctly. Don't forget to grab your first 10 downloads for free on Creative Fabrica using the link down below, and you can cancel at any time. Like I mentioned, they have an incredible annual deal right now that gives you access to all of their fonts and graphics for just $60. That is what I'm currently subscribed to. You can head over to this video next where I show you how to drive traffic to your Etsy shop using Pinterest, and I'll see you there.